While the city sleeps under layers of frost and the wind howls against darkened windows, one man is already out there. No headlines will mention him. No hands will wave in gratitude as drivers cruise along the only black ribbon carved through the storm. No one will know that, to keep their wheels from slipping off the edge, someone had to go first, alone, into the white. Snow always falls in silence, soft, beautiful, almost innocent. But beneath that quiet lies a storm waiting to unfold, and he knows it. He's been watching the radar since noon. He warmed up the old engine hours ago, and when the call comes in at 2:47 a.m., he grabs a thermos of cold coffee and drives straight into the dark. When you wake up to clean streets and cleared highways, do you ever wonder who did that? When you pass safely through a whiteout at night, do you ever think about who came before you? This is his story, the man behind the plow. The one who doesn't ask for praise, who doesn't need a spotlight. He just needs to know that someone got there safely, because he went first.
Welcome to Unsung Hands, where silent hands are finally given a voice. Here, we tell the stories that time forgot, stories of those who work quietly behind the scenes, building the world while no one notices, jobs that never make the headlines, but without them, nothing runs. If you believe that every life deserves to be heard, hit like to support these quiet but powerful stories. And don't forget to subscribe to Unsung Hands, so each week we can uncover another hidden chapter of the human journey together.
The first snow doesn't roar. It whispers. It falls quiet and soft, landing gently on rooftops, power lines, the hoods of parked cars. Children look out the window and smile. Shopkeepers light up their displays a little earlier. A soft piano tune plays from inside a cafe. For a moment, everything feels peaceful, but not for him. He watches the sky differently. To most, the flakes are beautiful. To him, they're the first sign of a long, cold night. At 2:45 p.m., he checks the radar. Heavy bands coming from the north. 2 inches by midnight. More after that. He doesn't flinch. He's seen worse. By 4 p.m., he's in the garage, not speaking, just preparing. He checks the salt spreader, replaces a cracked hydraulic hose, fills up the diesel tank, scrapes the windshield by hand. The truck is old, loyal. He knows every dent, every noise, every trick to make her start in the cold. In the corner, a small radio plays weather updates. He listens with half an ear. He already knows what the night will bring. A silent highway, a white horizon, 6, maybe 8 hours behind the wheel. Alone. He isn't nervous. He isn't excited. He's ready. At 8 p.m., he eats dinner alone in the break room. Leftover stew, a buttered roll, black coffee in a steel thermos, scalding hot. At 10:15 p.m., he sleeps in the back room. 3 hours of rest. No dreams, just silence. At 1:30 a.m., the phone rings. It's time. Main route's icing over. He zips up his coat, pulls on his gloves, slings the thermos under one arm, and walks out into the dark.
The truck is already running when he gets there. He left the engine idling, just enough to stay warm. A low growl rumbles from the hood. It sounds tired, but strong, like him. He climbs up into the cab. The seat creaks beneath his weight. He adjusts the mirrors, wipes the inside of the windshield with an old flannel sleeve. Outside, the snow has thickened. The wind pushes it sideways. It's not a storm yet, but it's close. He flicks on the headlights, then the rooftop amber beacons, then the radio. Static. Then a voice, faint but familiar. Winter alert for all northbound lanes. Drive safe out there tonight. He grips the wheel with gloved hands, thick fingers, stiff from years of cold. The leather is cracked along the knuckles. On the dashboard, a small photograph. A girl in a pink jacket standing next to a snowman. His daughter. She was 6 when it was taken. Now she's in college. He leaves the photo right where it's always been, just above the defrost vent. A quiet reminder. He puts the truck in gear. The blade lowers with a sharp hydraulic hiss. Salt churns in the spreader behind him. A mechanical rattle. Rhythmic, predictable. The garage door opens with a groan. A blast of cold air rushes in. He squints into the snow, breathes once, deep, and drives forward. Outside, the world is white, but inside the cab, it's warm, alive, full of memory. He and the machine, 2 parts of the same rhythm, old, reliable, unseen.
By 3:12 a.m., the world has vanished. The snow falls thicker now, heavy, relentless. No longer dancing, now it presses downward with weight. The road ahead is gone, just a gray blur, just a guessing game between the headlights and the storm. He leans forward, close to the glass, eyes narrowed, one hand on the wheel, the other gently tapping the control panel for the blade. He can barely see the yellow line. Sometimes, not at all. But he knows this stretch, mile by mile, curve by curve. It's not memory, it's muscle. The plow scrapes the pavement with a deep metallic groan. Salt sprays from the rear like grains of hope thrown into the dark. Behind him, black asphalt. Ahead, endless white. He doesn't look back. What's clear has already been cleared. His job is what comes next. The wind picks up. It pushes the snow sideways across the road, 1,000 tiny needles stinging the windshield. He blinks hard, turns on the wipers. They squeal with effort, barely keeping up. Still, he drives, steady, focused, alone. A single pair of headlights appears in the distance. Too fast, sliding slightly. He taps the brakes, moves wide, flashes his amber lights in short bursts. The car jerks, corrects, straightens, then speeds past without a glance. He watches it disappear into the white. No wave, no nod, no face. Just taillights swallowed by the storm. But he doesn't mind. That's how it always is. They never see the man behind the plow, only the road that's suddenly safe.
This is his 4th night this week. Same roads, same hour, same storm, just wearing a different shape. He doesn't complain, he's long past that. But it doesn't mean it's easy. He sleeps when the world is busy, eats when others aren't hungry, wakes up when most people are locking their doors and turning off their lights. It's a life turned inside out, a rhythm that never matches the rest of the world. And sometimes, that hurts more than the cold. He's missed birthdays, weddings, snowball fights in the yard, parent-teacher nights, Christmas mornings. He was plowing Route 12 when his son took his first steps. He was salting the overpass when his daughter called him from college, just to talk. He let it go to voicemail, promised himself he'd call back. He didn't. His wife used to stay up for him. She'd leave soup warming on the stove, sit at the kitchen table with a book and a blanket, wait for the familiar hum of the truck pulling into the driveway. Now, she leaves the porch light on, just in case, but she no longer waits. He understands. There's no applause for what he does, no morning briefings, no name on the news, but he knows what would happen if he didn't show up. The school buses wouldn't run, the ambulances wouldn't get through, the 6 a.m. shift at the hospital would be late or worse. So, he shows up every time.
By 4:42 a.m., the storm begins to loosen its grip. The wind slows. The snow falls thinner, quieter. The horizon softens, and the world begins to return. Faint outlines emerge. Guardrails, exit signs, the edge of a gas station canopy, the blinking red of a far-off radio tower. He's been plowing blind for hours. Now the road shows itself again, but he didn't need it to. He never stopped. He glances into the mirror. Behind him, a trail of black. A single, clean cut through an ocean of white. Not perfect, not wide, but passable. Enough for someone to follow. He doesn't know who it'll be. A nurse, heading into her early shift. A trucker hauling produce through 3 counties. A father trying to make it home before sunrise. They won't know his name, won't see his face, but they'll feel his work beneath their tires. They'll move forward because someone made the way. He turns down the heater. The cab has grown too warm. His face is flushed. His hands still cold. He takes a sip of coffee. Lukewarm now, but it soothes him just the same. Outside, the plow continues forward, slow and steady. Salt hisses against the pavement. The blade leaves a faint line of steam. He thinks about the photograph on the dashboard. The girl with the snowman. Her cheeks red from laughter, her mittens soaked. He remembers building that snowman together. The only one he ever had time for. Just one. But it was enough. Now, he doesn't build snowmen. He carves paths. Temporary, fleeting, but necessary. Because even if the snow covers his tracks in an hour, someone will have passed through safely. And that is enough.
At 6:03 a.m., he sees the depot lights in the distance. A soft orange glow, barely cutting through the fading fog. He slows the truck. The tires crunch over frozen gravel. The blade lifts with a hiss, crusted in ice and road grit. The storm is over, at least for now. He parks beside the salt dome, puts the truck in neutral, lets the engine idle for a while. There's no ceremony, no one waiting, just the familiar smell of diesel and steel. And the sound of a fan still spinning somewhere deep in the dashboard. He leans back in his seat, watches his breath curl in the air, takes one last sip from the thermos. Cold, but enough. He opens the door. The chill bites his face, sharp and clean. His boots hit the ground with a heavy thud. He stretches his arms. His shoulders pop. His knees ache. But he doesn't mind. The roads are clear. Inside the city, life begins to stir. Headlights blink on. Coffee shops open their blinds. Children zip their jackets. Engines start one by one. People step outside and see what they always expect to see. Dry pavement, plowed curbs, safe paths to school, to work, to life. They don't stop to wonder how it got that way, and he doesn't expect them to. He walks inside the garage, hangs up his coat, scrubs the salt from his hands, washes his face with cold water. In the corner, a radio hums with the day's forecast. Clear skies this morning, with a chance of flurries by midnight. He smiles faintly, nods to himself, and steps out into the light. There is no applause, no medals, no interviews. But the truth is simple. They got there safe because he went first.
Some people leave behind statues. Others leave behind applause. But the ones we honor here, they leave behind clean roads, warm rooms, quiet safety. They don't ask to be seen. They simply show up every day, every night. Thank you for spending these quiet minutes with us, for listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. If this story stayed with you, consider staying with us. Subscribe, share, and remember, the world moves forward because of hands we rarely see. This is Unsung Hands.